Ms. Rachel Ong, for 5 cuts.
Chairman, my first cut. Data from the Comprehensive Labour Force Survey, released earlier this month on 10 February, showed that among resident PWDs in the working ages of 15 to 65 in 2021 and 2022, a majority of 65.7% are outside of the labour force. Given MSF's 2020 estimate of 32,000 PWDs who are of working age, this means that about 21,000 working-age PWDs are still outside of the labour force. Of those outside of the labour force, a majority of 77%, or 16,000 PWDs, indicate that they are in poor health, too old or disabled to work. However, not much information was provided on what the respondents meant by being too disabled to work. It'd be important for us to find out whether there's a group of PWDs from within the 77% who are actually work capable but have stayed out of the workforce because they are not aware of what to do or believe that there are jobs or workplaces that can accommodate their disability. In better understanding their job search experiences, we can then identify the barriers to participating in the workforce and thus work towards reducing these barriers. In conjunction with the vision for Singapore as an inclusive society in 2030, I'd like to ask the Minister for Manpower if they have further insights gathered from the survey on work-capable PWDs outside the workforce, and how Singapore can raise the workforce participation rate of working-age PWDs. My second cut. As mentioned in my budget speech, caregivers of people with severe disabilities find great challenges in work options that allow them to fulfill their ongoing caregiving responsibilities while financially supporting the high medical expenses and future retirement needs for themselves and their wards. Flexibility regarding work hours and workspaces, as well as the ability to take leave when required, are essential for these caregivers. This is because their wards are not work capable and require consistent care, and caregivers need to be responsive to sudden or emergency needs. Those who are offered jobs tend to be for roles that underemploy them with significantly lower pay, a trade-off that caregivers accept for the flexibility accorded. Yet even with these lower job expectations, such flexible work arrangements or FWAs are not easily accessible, as caregivers often are confronted with interviewers and work cultures that have biases against working caregivers or FWAs. One country that has explored support initiative for working caregivers is the UK. In the recent years, the UK has seen an uptrend in the number of working caregivers, whether supporting seniors or children. In 2022, this number was 1 in 5 residents. To support them, the UK Civil Service launched an initiative called the Carers Passport. This passport provides caregivers and their employers with information about how employees' caring responsibilities impact their work, and provides a guided conversation on the flexibility needed to combine work and care. It aims to balance the needs of the employee with the needs of the business. Since its launch in 2010, the Carers Passport has rolled out to hospitals, employers, communities, schools, and universities across the UK. I'm hopeful that Singapore will one day see value in moving towards such an initiative given our aging population, and also push for larger families and hence an increasing need for caregivers. After all, close to 3/4 of our caregivers in Singapore are unemployed. May I ask the Minister for Manpower whether the government could consider how a similar arrangement can be made for caregivers of people with severe disabilities who need to take on FWAs out of necessity? How may we continue to encourage companies to make flexible work arrangements available for a larger range of job competencies so that our caregivers can support themselves more sustainably? Third cut. After many years of caregiving, caregivers of PWDs who have found alternative caregiving options find it hard to re-enter the workforce due to concerns over age and experience. In their job search, they struggle with a lack of recognition of caregiving skills on the job market, despite their transferability. These skills can range from project and time management, expanded skills in empathy, and stress tolerance, as well as communication skills as they navigate conflict situations in caregiving. Support to identify and recognize these skills in the workplace will be of great value to caregivers. In interviews, they are uncertain whether how much to share about their caregiving responsibilities for fear of discrimination or negative repercussions on their career due to possible biases by employers. I would like to ask the Minister for Manpower how the government can support these caregivers in the areas of job search, coaching and preparing them to re-enter the workforce, and perhaps also to reduce biases employers may have against caregivers. Fourth cut. Studies have shown that people with disabilities are poorer and more financially insecure than non-disabled people. Just 31.4% of working-age PWDs in Singapore are employed as of published stats earlier this month. Granted that some may have the benefit of parents who are able to set up a trust for them via the Special Needs Trust Company, not all PWDs have similar access. I would like to ask the Minister for Manpower what is the assessed retirement adequacy of PWDs as compared to the non-disabled in our workforce, and what is being done to raise their retirement adequacy, factoring the medical expenses they need to incur. My final cut. For non-work-capable PWDs, their caregivers become the main source of financial security. In my budget speech, I had expounded on the high expenses this group of caregivers of people with severe disabilities or rare disorders face due to the extremely high cost of treatment for their wards, which can amount up to $200,000 a year. These caregivers spend a large portion of their finances for the treatment of their severely disabled child and ward. With that, we may see that those who spend most of their lives caring for their loved ones will see to little savings for their own retirement. In Budget 2023, we see that the government has moved to strengthen retirement adequacy for our seniors. I would like to ask the Minister for Manpower, how might something similar be done for the caregivers of severe disabled persons who often require one parent to stop work while also managing ongoing high medical expenses? Thank you.